Welcome back to another episode of the Anime Degens podcast. Today I'm joined by Edwin and Jamal from the 950 Club, and you might notice that we're missing Jamal right now, but it's okay. He'll be back soon. He had to go do something real quick, but in the meantime, while we're waiting for him, we're just gonna go ahead and get started because it's super late over here, and he'll get here when he gets here. Um, but anyways, today you might be wondering what we're doing. We're actually going to be bullshitting about some anime conventions, cosplay, and just all kinds of things, all kinds of different things. Um, Basically a true bullshit hour where we just yap about a lot of different things regarding like anime and stuff, you know. And you might be wondering like why are we going to be talking about conventions and cosplay and all that stuff? Well, it's because Anime Central is coming up soon. Um, I think by the time this episode airs, it's actually going to be in a couple days, May 15th to be exact. And I'm actually gonna go up to Chicago and hang out with the 950 Club boys. We're gonna try to have a little fun up there at acen, which is Anime Central. So, if you're in the area around that time, visiting for acen or hanging out at the convention or whatever, if you see us, come say hi. We're chill. So, you know, holler at us. So with that being said, Edwin, I know that you said that you have been going to conventions for a pretty long time. Uh, how long have you been going?
I'm the one who kind of got them into conventions in the first place.
Yeah.
So like like I'm the granddaddy here. These are all like my little kids, man, because I started going to conventions back in like 2003. I went to my first convention because I stopped by this comic shop because I was in school back then. I was in college, and there was a little comic shop near the store, and the guy was like, "Oh, we're gonna be at the convention." I'm like, What do you mean?" They're like, "Oh, the one, the convention at the convention center." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
What
And he
is this? What
started
is this
looking.
you're talking about? Yeah.
I know. And then I went, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is like Christmas, man." This is like, they had people dressed up as stuff. They had comics. They had games. They had. I'm like, and my first year was like really awesome because I went to back then it was called Wizard World, and I don't know if you know a lot about Star Wars, but there was this guy Steve Sansweet. He was there with the 501st, with Darth Vader and the 501st, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like I saw stormtroopers without their helmets, like smoking outside, or like inside they were like drinking, they were eating a hot dog and drinking pop, and I'm like, this is surreal, but it was awesome. And I got to meet a bunch of like 70s actors because they were still around and they were doing the circuit on these things. To make a little extra cash, they would sell photos and stuff. You could talk to them, take a picture with them. I mean, it was a lot of fun. And so, flash forward a bunch of years later, I'm working at the airport and like I'm trying to indoctrinate anybody I can. Like, oh, you like pop culture stuff? I'm taking you to the convention. They're like, what? No, I'm not doing that. I'm like, oh yes,
Because I
yes
mean,
you are.
this was back when this sort of stuff wasn't cool. You know what I mean, right?
No, it wasn't as popular. I mean, like right now, it's like you got that that you got the girl from Stranger Things walking out with bags of money, to the point where the IRS is like, what is going on at these things? It's like they are white hot right now, like everybody got into the convention business. But back then it was just like, it was just a thing that happened. And you're like, a bunch of nerds are like, they're geeking out over like, like our OCD, need to collect everything and like have complete sets and stuff. And it wasn't as popular back then. It was kind of like, I don't want to say underground, but it was just like, it's just there. And if you know, and like, that's, you kind of spread this around. It was kind of
Well,
like when you're in high
you also
school
didn't
and
have, like,
yeah.
social media and stuff back then either, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, there was forms of it, but, like, it wasn't as popular as today, you know? Like,
Oh no.
you had to know where to go to see shit like that, like, so I'm assuming that, like, back then, like, it was hard to promote things like that because, like, it was such a niche, thing, you know what I mean? Like, not, they wasn't putting it on billboards and shit probably, or, you know what I mean? Like, you either knew or you didn't know, so right?
Well, they'd put it on billboards, but they put it on billboards in like the town that it's happening in. You know, like the
Yeah,
neighborhood. They'd put it on like in Rosemont is where it happens.
yeah,
So it was like back then it was magazine, word of mouth, magazines. You know, like if you bought comics regularly, like that's what happened to me. Is like I bought comics regularly, so I interacted with the people at the store, and they were taking product there to sell at the convention. So that's how I found out. But like if you read like back then, like they don't do magazines anymore. It's all Instagram now. But yeah, no, back then they'd have like if you subscribe to Wizard World, would have a list of like where locations where they were gonna have their convention. Like in August we're having a convention. I think actually they only had one back then, so they would promote that in the magazine, and that's a whole. You could do a whole documentary expose on that company because the shady stuff that they got up to. But I digress. But yeah, you're right. You didn't have like social media the way it is now, and you didn't have like all this sci-fi like thanks like back then it was Star Wars. Star Wars was still the big thing, and they were working through the prequels, and so that's what they would announce and stuff, and so you had it was really big. It wasn't like San Diego Comic Con because that's the one, but this was still one of the big ones. And I just kept going every year. I got my cousin into it, and then finally I got Jamal into it a few years ago, and he's a convert now.
and his first one was acen too, right? Anime Central?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now I
Yeah.
see what Jack was saying, how, Jamal's first one was Anime Central. Technically, Anime Central isn't my first one, but like when I say that it basically is, it's like, so my first one was they started like this is a new thing in my town, you know what I mean? They started holding this thing. They have two conventions a year. One in the spring, or I say spring, it's actually I seen a promotion of it on Facebook. It's going to be happening like this, I think the same weekend as acen is. So like middle of May, and then they'll have another one in October as well. I think it is August or October. So they'll have,
Mm-hmm.
two a year, and it's the place that they have it in, like I don't know if are y'all familiar with Kentucky? Roughly, somewhat, no?
No.
Huh?
So yeah,
Uh
yeah, you said Kentucky, right?
yeah,
I'm a little
Kentucky.
familiar with Kentucky. Hmm.
Kentucky. So like I said, we have two conventions here. In the town, the bigger town, the closest biggest town to me or whatever, right? It's not the
Hmm.
town I live in, but that's Bowling Green.
Okay,
Bowling Green's like
I'm familiar with Bowling Green.
I think Bowling Green's like the one of the biggest cities in Kentucky now, like population wise, which it surprised me, you know what I mean? But apparently, like they have a lot of population or whatever now. It's boomed,
They
and I
do.
can tell it. I can tell it when I drive it. The infrastructure is
Mhm.
not ready for that, but here we are. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I
So,
went
but it,
to years ago when I was younger. We were driving somewhere, and like I all for whatever reason, I was always drawn to like silver Corvettes, and so we went to the Corvette Museum in Bowling Green.
so
So
it's funny that you say that because the anime convention that's held twice a year in Bowling Green, they hold
mhm.
it at the Corvette Museum. So
See,
um
see, I didn't
yeah.
even know, and I
But
knew.
but they don't hold, so it's not the whole Corvette museum though. Like, so I don't know if
I get
you're
it.
still familiar with it or not, but you walk in the doors of the Corvette Museum and you turn right, and like
Mm-hmm.
it's they hold it in like a room that is smaller than a gymnasium, you know, and
Oh,
that is our anime convention.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is a
oh.
I don't like it's calling it a gymnasium is bad because it's not even nowhere close that size. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably more like a auditorium, like a big conference room, you know, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not a very big room. So like basically our anime convention consists of is so basically you can hardly walk in there because like they got the tables, they got this table set up, you know, like they got the table set up down the wall, and then
Mm-hmm.
of like all the like art and just bullshit that people are trying to sell to anime people, like anime fans or whatever. It's not even like anime merch, you know, there's some anime like merch and figures there and like t-shirts and stuff, but like it's like crafting stuff, you know, that are
Mm-hmm.
made for like marketed toward like people that go to these things or whatever, right? It's like 3D printed shit, you know, like crafted, like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And
I
Yeah.
then
get
like
it.
on like you go down this tight road right here. You got like the tables on this side, and then you got the tables on the inside, and like you're walking down, and you got tables on both sides. Then at the end, you know, which is probably like 25 yards or so, you know, whatever. You got a table going this way, and that is where the voice actors are, and you got like 3 voice actors there, and I think last year it was like some Dragon Ball voice actor. I forget who it was. It was Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Mm-hmm.
Asuka, I think she was there. Um, and somebody else is there. But like it was pretty decent people, you know, just like older, popular, you know, voice actors, whatever, English voice actors. And then you go down this the other aisle or whatever, and they got like a little stage set up here, and that's where they have like they have like anime trivia. Like they have it in sections like they do anime trivia, they do like AMV sing-alongs or whatever, and there's a cosplay contest or whatever. Like that's what they have there, all on the same stage in different time periods or whatever. Um, and that's basically it. That is the anime convention. You can spend like an hour there and see everything and do everything. The most interesting thing there is probably either the voice actors, the couple voice actors they have, and like the cosplay contest. You know, I enjoy that because like I get it's fun seeing, you know, the effort people put into, you know, their work. You know, some of them aren't as good, and some of them they like really like work. You know, like put a lot of time into it, and like you can tell, and like it's fun sitting there and seeing that or whatever. And like the anime quiz thing, whatever I just said, trivia
Mm-hmm.
game. Like I find them pretty fun. Like it was kind of too easy for me, you know, because I feel like most of the people there, like, you know, they watch anime, but like they probably don't watch as much anime as I do, you know, being like a podcaster or whatever, right? So I was like
Yeah.
answering the clickers, and they was like,
Mm-hmm.
who's this, who's this? They got it right again. Like they asked a question like about what was it, Clanad, and about freaking there's something about Clanad, and they're like nobody got it right except for me, and I literally only watched like 5 episodes of Clanad, and I'm just like, bro, it's like they was like, who is this person? Who's getting everything right? I'm just like, me. I'm sorry. I just watched too much anime, bro. I'm sorry.
It's like
But yeah,
they're just casual anime fans, you know, and there's
yeah,
Yeah.
ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing
No,
wrong with that.
no. I just found it funny. Like, they was hopping me up, and I'm just because I was answering questions that nobody else got in the anime trivia, and I'm just like, you could like take a good like you don't even have to watch this. You could have just knew something about Clannad and just took a best guess and got it right. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, because that's what I did. I was just like, I'm pretty sure. It was something like what kind of store did something about some kind of store or some shit. I don't know. I think it was like a bread store or like Dongo or some shit. I forget. So it's been a couple years. Like if you go to one of these anime conventions in Bowling Green, like you've been to them all. Like it doesn't
Mhm.
change, bro. Like the panels, like you would call them panels or whatever, like the panels are the same every time. It's just different shit. You know
Oh,
what I mean? It's different cosplays,
yeah.
different trivia questions, but it's always cosplay trivia and uh karaoke AMV videos or whatever. Like it's always
Mhm.
those three things and maybe one more thing or whatever, but it's always the same for each convention. It's just spread out over 6 months apart or whatever. But so when I say this is my first anime convention, it kind of is because our anime convention is a joke. It's not really
Yeah.
an anime convention.
Yeah.
So it's just like
No.
an anime
Yeah.
get together. So
Yeah. I mean,
This
it's
going to be
not.
on a whole new level.
yeah.
Well, it's not. It's not that dissimilar from a lot of anime conventions. Acen's the big one, and really, it's just scale, and like you get more because it is a larger convention. You do attract like publishers. You'll get
Mhm.
more. You might get more voice talent. You'll have like. But a lot of that is similar because a lot of these started out, and it's just like the DNA
Yeah.
blueprint because a lot of these started out as fan based things and they just grew from that. And ASIN's like the biggest one here in the Midwest. Um, I think you'll love this because Jamal can attest to this. Like I remember the last time we went, my God, that place was insanely packed. But
Mhm.
Tyler, I'm not kidding when I said that 90% of the people were in cosplay.
Yeah.
Like
And I find that fun,
I was,
I
yeah,
love
it was
seeing people's
amazing.
cosplays.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was in line to get something to drink, and I was literally like this. There must have been about 20 people in this line. I was the only one not in cosplay. Like I had a great time just standing in line because I'm like, oh, that's Ripley, and that's this person, and that's that person, and it's like I was like seeing all kinds of shit, and I'm like, man, this is insane. Those Kill
Mhm.
girls that drove Jack crazy, man. I'm like, those are
Yeah.
good costumes, man.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
The
Or like
costumes the costumes are crazy.
yeah, or the crew from Final Fantasy, they had like I'm like, man, you
Yeah.
guys really did this well. Like, yeah, like that's one of yeah, we're kind of spoiled being here in Chicago because it's like all that stuff is close by and like
Mhm.
that convention center, I mean, you'll I mean, it'll feel familiar because you'll walk in and you'll be like, "Oh, there's the art tables,
Mhm.
there's like there's the cosplay contest and stuff like that, but it's on such a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Like imagine that one room just being part of the artist alley.
That's
Like
see
not
that
even
that's the thing is
part. That's
like
not
imagine,
even
yeah,
part. Like, cause Artist Alley's got its whole like
so
wing.
I
Like
well,
feel
it's
I'm
on
just
the
like
talking about the
complete
way they
other
had it set
side.
up.
But
Well,
yeah.
I'm talking about the way they had it set up last
Yeah, yeah,
time,
yeah.
where it was like in three different rooms that were about the
Yeah.
size of a gymnasium, and they were all
Yeah.
packed, and like that's the kind of
so
insanity. Yeah.
in my mind, I feel like ASIN and like other bigger conventions, I feel like the rooms that panels are held in, like individual panels, that
Mhm.
is the room that is in the Corvette Museum. That's the whole anime convention,
Yeah.
and they have
Yeah.
one of those rooms for one panel.
Mhm.
That's what I
We
have in my mind.
Yeah.
So I think
we
I'm pretty
actually
accurate
did
on that. So
well. We actually did our Full Metal Alchemist panel in a room that size. I think
Yeah,
is
that's
what.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the difference, you know. Like, what I'm going, like, what acen is, and like what I've only been to, you know, is like the size of the room is literally what the size of like a one panel, and they got like multiple panels going at the same time and stuff like that. So, but speaking of panels, like I feel like that's like sure like there's a lot of like big name voice actors, and like you even got like international guests coming over. That's
Mhm.
how you know like
Yeah.
it's a bigger scale like conventions when you got international guests coming to your convention. Like that's how you know it's a
Yeah.
legit, you know, convention or whatever. And ASIN does have that. You know, ASIN has that. But if it wasn't for that, you know, the things that I'm the most excited about, like, well, the things that I'm most interested in seeing that's different than, you know, what I would be able to get here or whatever, you know, it's just the panels, you know, honestly. Like
Mhm.
I'm always intrigued by different panels. Like, you know, because like I feel like those are like fun. Those are fun to like go visit and you know, sit down and, you know, listen to them, you know, talk about whatever that they're going to talk about or whatever topic. It's kind of like a mini podcast or whatever, right? In a
Mhm.
way. And
Yeah.
like I feel like those are very interesting to be a part of. And that's something that we don't have here, because like these panels that we have here are not really panels. Like they're just, you know, things to pass the time, you know, get people to come out or whatever, you know.
Like
And like the
little activities.
cosplay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
to make it less
Yeah.
boring. Like to make it not just a shopping area, you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
also the cosplays. I feel like the cosplay um in a city and a convention that big, I feel like the cosplays are taken more seriously, you know, not
Oh yeah.
saying that they don't take them serious down here, but it's on a different level because it's at a, a bigger stage, you know. It's not just, you know, a small convention like I'm talking about, you know. I'm sure they try their best or whatever, but like they probably put like a shit ton of money. Like most, like a majority of
Mhm.
people probably put like a lot of money and time into their
Oh
cosplay
yeah.
outfits when they go to something like Anime Central, because like that is a legit convention. You know, they want to look the best. They want to, you know, they want to go all out pretty much. You know what I mean? So I feel like those two
Oh yeah.
things is like really fun to experience. And that's something that you can't really experience in a convention like I've went to, you know what I mean?
No. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, can you want to tell him about Kyle?
I've heard a
Jamal,
few
you want to
stories
tell him
about
about?
We could.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
that was one of my that was one of my favorite convention experiences because I've never seen that happen. I've never seen that kid became Sekuna. Like the transformation was just like I'm like, Jamal, who is this kid? Because he
Oh yeah.
walked in looking like a he walked in like this was his first anime convention.
Yeah.
This kid walks in looking like like I'm not gonna say normal person, but he's just like some random dude. By the time he's leaving, by the time he's leaving the convention, people are trying to take pictures with him. You know, so it's like,
You got that
I've
Riz,
never seen
bro.
that. Yeah. Oh man, I've
Yeah.
never seen that happen in my life. And he didn't even wasn't even trying that hard. He was just like
No.
buying a piece here, buying a piece
Mhm.
there. But his transformation was complete. It's like, he went to the dark side. And it was like I was cracking up, man, because I'm like, you know what? He got the assignment. He understood the
Yeah.
assignment. Come in here, have fun, and assimilate. And that's what he did. And that's, like I said, at first few hours he's taking pictures with other people. By the end of the day, they're taking pictures with him.
That's how
I'm
you
like, well,
know. That's how you know.
yep, that's how he felt.
And
Yep.
it,
I
it
mean,
was and that I think that's what the appeal of acen is. it's like you said, Tyler, like this will be like your first like real convention. It was
Yeah,
like he was so nervous going into it. Like he was super nervous because he's never been to something, and it can be kind of intimidating when you walk into that convention center and like you're standing in that line to pick up your badge and you don't know what's happening. And then, like, when you go in there and you see all these other people in cosplay, and you're like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you?" They're like, "Yeah, sure, come on." Like
yeah,
he said, like I remember talking to him afterwards. He said, like, "I feel I'm at home with my people." You know, it
Well,
was
exactly,
I get it, you know?
exactly.
it
Yeah,
it it meet that first like 30 minutes just immediately like diffused all of that nervous energy that he had, and he he was gone. Like I couldn't even do my whole spiel with him like I do with Jack. Like I did it for a second. Like what I love to do with Jack is like I know there's certain things that he like is in love with, and I like to play the ooh Jack ooh game, and I'll go ooh Jack ooh, look.
Tyler, be careful. He will try to do this to you. He will try his best to do this to you. You have
I
to stay. Once he knows what you like, he will try to push you into buying it. So I'm
I like
warning
to
you
hype
now.
people up. I
He
like to
does.
hype people up.
Don't
Go
worry,
ahead,
Yep.
I don't need much help in that category.
get it,
So,
man. Ball out. You got it. Come on, you'll be all right. Like you play Ooh Jack Ooh. I played Ooh Jack Ooh for a few minutes. I played Ooh Ka Ooh for about 15, 30 minutes. And then he was gone.
yeah.
He was
You
gone.
look up and like, where did this boy go?
And then like a couple hours later, Edwin and I were walking around and we just randomly see him. And it's like Edwin said he had like a jacket on. And we're like, where'd you get the jacket from? And he got a jacket and he got this plushie and he got this thing. And it just kept happening for hours that way.
It wasn't a jacket. It was a full on a kimono.
Yeah,
Like
yes, you're right. You're
like
right.
it was
It
like
was. It
he
was.
had a
It
It's
was.
kimono.
even
Then
better.
he had the sandals, and I'm like, dude, where are you finding that stuff? It wasn't like, man. I remember, man, but that's the thing I love about conventions is that you take people and they bring their own passion to it.
Hmm.
Like there's this guy we know, Martin, and like,
Yeah,
man, this dude loves cosplay,
he
and
does.
like, I was like, the first time I took him, I didn't understand what was happening because this man just lost his mind and like would run off to take pictures with cosplayers, and he would just disappear, and then he'd show back up and he'd have like pictures with 20 cosplayers, and it just became that's his thing. I'm like, that's his
Mm,
thing. You will go to convention with him and you will be alone most of the time because he will be running away to find like to find pictures, to find these people. And then with Jack, it's the art. Jack,
yeah,
you can't get
yeah.
him away from the artist. He'll be there talking and flirting with like the different artists. And it's like, you ain't getting him out of there. It's like, all right, Jack, we're gonna be over here. And he's like, well, I'm gonna go to this table. And I'm like, we know why you're going to that table.
I'm gonna go see
What's
Iron
that?
Pinky. I'm gonna go see
Yeah.
Quentin. I'm gonna go see like he's gonna
Oh
go
yeah.
see his people. He's gonna go check in with his people. Like with
Yep.
Jack is the art, and he gets some great pieces. And
He
with
does.
Martin,
Yeah.
Martin like seriously, I say this every year. His pictures are always better than the official pictures that they put out.
Well,
His
maybe,
he
Yeah.
j-
I don't know what the price range is, but I do have a bare section of the wall right here,
yeah.
that could use something there. So maybe,
Yeah.
maybe I'll get a little
Oh,
something. You
you're
never
gonna
know.
find some art, man. You're gonna find
So,
there's some like really, really, really good artists out there. Like I always
well,
like the
so,
art is kind of like I like getting the art. I have so much art that I need frames for right now.
well, the thing
I
is
have
like
portfolio.
the
Yeah.
official art that you can buy on like Amazon and Crunchyroll and shit. like it's so generic, man. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like it's so
Yeah,
yeah,
generic, and
yeah,
like it's like, you want something that's like fun, creative, something that's cool. You don't like, I don't know, like I have issues. Like I see this stuff like all the time. And I'm just like, I'm a fan of like Mob Psycho or something like that. But you go look at Mob
hmm
Psycho stuff, and like you're basically like buying like pictures, posters of like the like cover for like
yeah.
$30. I'm just like, why would I do that? You know what I mean? Like why?
yeah.
That's boring,
Yeah.
I had to
One of the cool.
I had to get a
Mhm.
whole lesson from Edwin about art because I was so I didn't know anything. And so he's like, all right, look, they're gonna have different sizes. They're gonna have the prints, but they're also gonna have the originals. The originals are gonna cost you a lot more, but
Obviously,
it's
yeah.
gonna be nicer. The prints, they're gonna be cheap. They're gonna be nice. But and he had to like give me the whole rundown of these things. And he's like, look, man, sometimes it's better to get three of the smaller ones because then you could get multiple from them. But sometimes you just gotta get the big like and he's just running this whole thing down to me. And I'm like, it was my first convention. I'm like, Edwin, you did not tell me I needed more than $100. Like I could have spent that. I spent that on one original piece. Like Edwin, you need to tell me why did. And he's like, why would you even come in here with $100? He was so mad at me. He's like, why would you even do that? I'm like, Edwin, I didn't know. I didn't know like these things.
I failed to prepare him, Tyler. I failed to prepare him financially for what he was
Mm,
about to face. And so I take a little bit of the blame in that, but at the same time, it's like he knew I'd gone to enough. He knew my stories from the conventions and how much like
oh
the
yeah.
I had I had showed him and Jack enough of my hauls from different conventions. Like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
where Jamal has to have multiple frames. I have portfolios, like these portfolio
Yeah.
binders for like from different years, full
Mhm.
of anime art or like just art, all kinds of artwork from different stuff. But yeah, it's like I've got like three or four of them,
And see,
and they're
that's something
packed
that
with
he
like,
didn't tell
yeah,
me until recently. He's like, dude, you're never going to get enough frames. Just get the
mm-mm,
portfolio and put the
mm-hmm,
stuff in the portfolio. It's like,
yeah.
you're telling me late now, man. But
What see what it is? What it is like your artwork becomes like curtains where women will
Mm,
change their curtains seasonally. They'll do that
yeah,
seasonal change. You can do that with your artwork, and that's like okay, we're gonna have Final Fantasy up for like 3 months. And we're gonna switch that out to Spy Family, and then we're gonna go back to Gurren Lagann or Kill a Kill. It's like that. But you can continuously switch them out because it's like you have so much artwork and you want it to be on the wall, but like you have those options. And the good thing about the thing I like about the convention, Tyler, is that you have like the artists are fans too.
Yeah,
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they
yeah.
and they want they'll do, and they come up with like the most creative shit like you've ever seen. Like they'll do like blueprints to somebody. They'll do an anime house blueprint or something. They'll do like a blueprint style. It'll be like, so they want to do like, it's nothing like the promotional artwork that the studios put out. I
Mhm.
mean, this stuff is like way different. Like I found some really what was it? It was some real I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so this guy, or was it a guy? I don't remember. I think no, I think it was a woman artist, a female artist. She did them all realistically, but she made it look like like a Chinese or Japanese scroll. And it was like, I'm like, this is awesome, and so I bought that
Mm.
really fast. And it wasn't, and they looked like, it was a more realistic art style, but it was so cool that I'm like, all right, I got to get that. It's like it doesn't look like them, but they're, it was just so cool that I'm like, all right, I got to get this. And like, yeah, you'll find all kinds of stuff like Jack and Jamal. The last time I don't know if it was Acer or Anime Midwest, but like we were ready to buy from every table there. I mean, the art selection was just that good. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was a
it
little
was
bit
acen.
insane.
I
Yeah,
haven't
we
done
had to.
Anime Midwest yet, but
Oh, okay.
I
And
need
it was
to.
Ace. Yeah, we had to stop ourselves
Mhm.
because we were like, man, this is
It
getting out
was
of hand.
every tape, but that's something else. We're gonna have to get Edwin's convention rules before we end this, because that's something else that he taught me. He's like, look, you have to walk the aisles. You have to walk the aisles because you have to walk the aisles and look at everything, because if you don't, you're going to end up spending all your money on this first aisle, and by the time you get to the back, you're going to miss out on stuff that you wanted.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to walk the aisles. You have to walk the aisles. And so
Well,
like
it's
it's
kind of like it's a tier system.
yeah.
So what I do is like I'll see something that I like. I'm like, I like that. If I like it, I'm gonna buy it.
Hmm.
That's gonna happen. But what I like to do is I like to walk the entirety of the art. I walk all the aisles first,
Hmm.
and then if I like something, I'll take a picture of it. And then by the time I'm done, I'll look through my pictures, and it'll usually like whatever jumps out to me the most
Hmm.
is what I'll go back and buy. Because like I might see I might see a motoko. I'm like, oh, I want
Hmm.
that motoko from Ghost in the Shell. But then I might find, like if I'm at a regular convention, I might find a Harley Quinn that I like more, and
Hmm.
so that's where like I make my choices based on like, all right, which one do I like more? Which one like speaks to me more? And then I'll go back and buy that stuff. But make sure that you take a picture not only of the art that you want, but the art at the table too, the table
Hmm.
numbers, because the table numbers
Where it
are
is.
important because that tells you like where to go back to. Because if you forget, like you're like, crap, I just got to walk back through, like 20 aisles to go find this person. So yeah, that's another one of the tips that I think I gave to Jamal and Jack, where it's like know where they're at, because if you don't know
Yeah.
where they're at, you can't buy from them. So it doesn't matter if you saw it and liked it and took a picture of it. It's great, but if you don't know where to buy it, you're kind of screwed.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
well,
think
that's a good idea
that's
too.
the
Like
good
to
thing
pick the
about
thing.
Fridays
So
too. That that's a good tip. But the good thing about
yeah,
Fridays and early, and that I think Tyler would like the most, is like you can. There's certain artists they work on commissions. So if you see stuff like art that they like, you could say, "Hey, look, can I get a?" If they say if they're taking commissions, they'll say, "Hey, look, what do you want?" They'll draw it for you, and they'll say, "All right, come back in however many, whatever amount of time." You give them money, and they'll draw whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so you get that free original art piece, and you catch them early. You want to catch them early because if they're really good or really popular, they'll sell out. They'll be like, "Look, I'm all out of commissions."
Well, because they
So
only have a certain amount of time, and so
right,
they can only do a certain number of commissions. And then you got to be careful because each artist has like they might only do 10 spots for the entire
right.
weekend, and they're going to charge you like like whether you want like a head, a bust shot, whether you want just a face, you want the bust, or you want a full body shot. That might cost you different prices, so they each one of them has their own
Hmm.
pricing scale based on that. And yeah, it's great. Fridays are great because everybody's at work, so it's
Hmm.
it's not as crowded too, so you can walk the entire art, the art area. You can do
Hmm.
that on Friday morning. Like just walk in, check it all out, and then by Friday afternoon, you've got the pieces that you want, so you can spend the rest of the weekend, doing whatever.
Hmm.
yeah.
And you could
See, I
Yeah.
don't
establish
really
a connection
see.
with them.
I don't really see myself like trying to find figures and stuff like that. I feel like I want to look for like like y'all said like art, art or like even t-shirts, like I like my where I've lost a lot of weight, like all my anime t-shirts like they don't really fit anymore, like they're really loose or whatever, but even like those anime t-shirts, like they're like not the best because like they're very generic anime t-shirts, and I feel like at a
Hmm.
convention you're able to find like better like
Oh yeah.
t-shirts, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like better
yeah.
styling of t-shirts or whatever. So not just like simple bullshit, or whatever. So
Yeah. You'll it's like we said, like everybody goes there for different reasons, man, and that's the beauty of it, and that's why like it's fun to go in a group because everybody is going. So it's like you said, it's like Martin's getting all the cosplayers. He's going to take care of all the pictures for you this week. Just tell him, hey, send me that picture. I want that picture. He'll send you
Yep,
the picture.
yep.
Jack's going to find all the art. He's going to say, hey, you need to go here, you need to go here, you need to go here. And if Jack is having a good day and he's got a couple extra dollars, he's probably going to end up buying you something anyway. And being like,
Yeah,
here's my gift to you, because that's just the
I
kind
had
of guy he is.
my cousin was the merch guy.
Coffrey, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Stopper, yeah. It's like
yeah.
I don't know how this happened. I remember this, a quick story. So I took him I would take him to conventions, and his mom would freak out because he was pretty young back then. And she's like, "Well, you can't, don't, you have to stay with him. You have to stay with him the whole time." So we had gotten up early to see, I think, Kevin Smith or whatever, because you had to back then. You had to you the tickets ran out. They only had a certain
Hmm.
number of spots. But I think we'd gotten up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we'd gotten there to see, Kevin Smith his panel. So I was tired. I'm like, all right, we've been walking around this thing for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm beat. I need to sit down. And my cousin's like, well, I want to go look for stuff. I don't want to just sit here. I'm like, all right. I told him, as long as you don't tell your mom, as long as you don't tell your mom, you can go do whatever you want. But I'm like, I need to sit down. I need to eat. I need to sit down. And so he comes back with back then it wasn't Black Series Star Wars figures. They were called Unleashed, right? So
Hmm.
he comes back, and I'm like, that's Han Solo. How much do you pay for that? He's like, $20. I'm like, $20. I'm like, I'm like, I haven't seen that under 75. And he's like, yeah, I know those other people had it more expensive. I'm like, can you find me one? He's like, yeah, sure. He went, he found me one, $20 too. I'm like, how? From that day forward, it's like if I wanted anything, if I had anything in mind, I just told him, Coffrey, go find it. And he'd find it for me. He would go to every vendor in the
Hmm.
area and he'd be like, all right, these people have it. It's in good condition, but this place has it at a better price. And I'm like, all right, let's go make a deal. And he'd make a deal for me, and he'd usually get it lower.
yeah,
And
I
yeah,
mean,
so
you can't beat that.
you know,
Yeah.
no, yeah, yeah. So, but I love that. I love taking people to the conventions and just seeing how their personality, how they interact with it, like how their
Hmm.
personality and their styles and like what they're gonna do, because it's always different. And for me, it's like it's always fun to watch because first they have that reaction like Kyle, where it's like I'm home.
Yeah,
These are my people. It's like I can enjoy my passions here without judgment. First it's that, and then once they fall into that, it kind of like you can see like you can see how I don't how do I want to put this? You can see what extreme it goes to. You can
yeah,
see where you can see where they're now that their personality is unleashed and unbound and unworried and unfettered by like they're free of judgment. Now you can see where their passion goes. You can
yeah.
see like,
Hmm.
yeah. And that's a lot of fun for me because I'm like, because it's always different. It's never what I expect it's gonna be. Like, yeah, like Jamal
Yeah.
loves to troll everybody, and so that's what he does. He's like, ooh, look at
I
that.
do.
Ooh, look at that. He does. Yep.
So
I love it.
I think that I think this is a good time, too, like especially like for me or whatever, because I feel like I wouldn't enjoy myself, if I went to a convention of this size, like before like even in my like first year podcasting, right? Like before I
Hmm.
started podcasting, first year podcasting, I probably would have went to like a convention like this, and I would probably would have been overwhelmed and probably wouldn't have had a good time or whatever, you know.
Mhm.
But I feel like, you know, being a podcast or whatever, and like, you know, like meeting all these people, and like just getting to know like the anime side of things, of like this sort of content, you know what I mean? And like the people in it, and you know, being able to talk to people, like the first time I met y'all, like I didn't know y'all, but you know, we
Mhm.
started talking, and like, you know, we just talked, you know what I mean? Like it's easier to do that now, and like I feel like you sort of have to, like when you go to a convention like that, you kind of got to do that in a way, because like if you don't, you're gonna be missing out. Like you're gonna see like all these people, and like if you're afraid to talk to them, like I feel like you miss out, you know what I mean? um
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
so I'm
definitely.
kind of
Yeah.
glad that I waited to go to a bigger convention until like now, because like, you know, I'm obviously gonna have a lot more fun, you know, than I would have back then, because I wouldn't have been ready for it. You know, I wouldn't have realized, you know, hey, this is gonna be huge. You know, like I'm gonna be like I'm gonna want to go home in like an hour because it's too much or whatever. But you
Mhm.
know, I don't think that's an issue now, because like I kind of understand like what's out there. Like I kind of like, you know, I'm kind of like, I've always been like a easygoing, outgoing person or whatever. But you know, I will say like I used to be more on the shy side too, but I feel like I'm not shy anymore. So thanks to, you know, doing this stuff. So but so I'm actually looking forward to it. Like I'm like, you know, like obviously I'm gonna have like the things that I want to go do or whatever, you know, that, but like which we don't know the panels and the scheduling and stuff like that haven't been released yet, but like obviously I'm gonna find like some of the panels to be interesting, you know, and I'm gonna be like, well, I'd like to go see that or whatever, you know. There's obviously like a couple of different people that, you know, I'd like to go see or meet or whatever too, if we can do it. You know, it depends on the guide app or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, the
Um,
stupid.
yeah.
Yeah, well, some of those
Um,
panels, like depending on how popular they are, you got to get there early.
yeah, and
Like so, like I
that's the thing
know.
too, is, you know, we gotta I gotta learn, like this will be a good learning experience, I guess you can say, to figure out like, you know, uh, like timing, and like just, you know, just the general atmosphere of like a convention or whatever, you know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
but
Time management is really important because it's like in like that in that office that that pretty much that auditorium that you have for your
yeah.
thing. It's like you can get to the panel in like 2 seconds, you know, because the panel's right there.
Hmm.
But like if we're at the food court eating food and your panel starts in 5 minutes, good luck, sir. You are not making that panel because it's
No.
going to take you 5 minutes. It's going to take you 5 minutes to get
Mhm.
halfway across the convention center, let alone to your panel. So
To
like
the
if
other
you want to
side
get
of
to
the
that
panel,
panel,
upstairs, everybody's
yeah,
taking the escalator, so you got to wait in line to get up the escalator. And like like the panel for apothecary, that's going to be insane. People are going to
yeah.
be lining up for that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Would you think that maybe an hour early?
Um,
I don't know.
Usually, like I hate being extreme. Like I used to be really extreme with that stuff because if you
Yeah.
missed it, you missed it. I didn't want to miss anything. But like usually half an hours are pretty good. Like yeah, but people usually some people will start lining up an hour before a panel, just because they don't want to miss it. But I usually find that half an hour, getting there half an hour before the panel is a really pretty good rule of thumb for you to get inside. Um, Usually that usually works out. Usually they have enough panels where it's like, and the good thing about like these larger conventions is they understand that. So something like the Apothecary Diaries will be in a
Oh
bigger
yeah.
auditorium,
Yeah.
in a bigger room than, like say like this is just an example, but Ramparts of Ice just came out, and like it's like if they do a panel that it's going to be a small room, so it'll be in a smaller room. So that's always good. But yeah, rule of thumb is like if you want to get into a panel, be at the panel room about half an hour before the panel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's one
Yeah.
thing that I'll obviously have to learn a little bit too is like where everything is. I'll have to be careful
Mhm.
and figure out locations because obviously I ain't never been there before. So, but yeah,
I mean, we know
That's
the
one of the things
general
where
layout,
yeah,
but
Yeah, that's one of the
we'll be
things
cool.
where being willing to talk to people, because
Yeah.
like the people who work at these conventions, whether it be the volunteers or the staff from like the venue, they're usually pretty friendly and they're usually pretty helpful. Like they will help you. Like they're like, all right, cool, we'll help you. Like where's this or where's that,
Hmm.
and that's usually they're usually pretty helpful. Like yeah, and
oh I
sometimes if you're
tr-
yeah,
trust me, I ain't afraid to ask people because like
I'm like I will
I'll be
know.
doing like DoorDash or shit like and I go into a store or whatever and like if I can't find something within like a minute and a half or something like that on my own, if I can't find like the aisle or whatever, I just go up to an employee and be like, hey yo, where's this shit at? Like I'm trying to make some money, you know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me to ask people, especially when it's going to save me time or like if I'm really wanting to do something or something, you know what I mean? So,
Okay.
but
Yeah. I was
it's
just
cool.
thinking about yeah.
It's it's cool
I've
that
had a few people who yeah.
what was you saying?
No, I've just had a few people who were reluctant to like do
Oh
stuff like that.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm just like it's one of my
Hmm.
tips because I've had people in the past where they're like, they'll come back to me and like, oh, I didn't go to that panel. I'm like, why didn't you go to the panel? I couldn't find it. I'm like,
yeah.
"Mm." I'm like, why are you here? It's like, why are you here? Like, no, let's go find this, and I'll drag them and I'll help them find it. Yeah, my cousin had a few of his. He would bring his girlfriends and stuff, and they'd be like, "Well, I don't know," and I'm like, "No, we're gonna go find out. We're gonna go find out right now where this is at, so you can go do this." And they're like, "Thank you," and like, "Yeah." And I sometimes I'd sit through the panel with them, like, "You don't have to sit." I'm like, "I want to be here for the panel too,"
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah. It's like no, like I'm interested too. So like we're doing this, and so yeah. But yeah, it's a man. I'm excited for you, dude, because I love conventions and I love just that watching the look on people's faces when they walk in there and they're overwhelmed, but at the same time they're like, oh my god, is that somebody in a giant Pikachu costume? Like yes, yes it
Yes,
is.
that is.
Like you know,
And you know
It's
what I
so it's
like
like
about this? It's like you're gonna get a lot more. Like it's not like the bigger fan conventions like C2E2 and Fan Expo. You still get your anime cosplayers, but here you're gonna get like more niche stuff. Like the
Yeah,
cabbage guy is always there, or like you're going to see stuff like, oh, that's from that show. It's not just
yeah,
like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon
no,
Slayer and
yeah,
no, you're going to see some Friend, you're going to see some Apothecary, you're
Spy
going to see
Family.
some Spy Family, you're going to see some stuff that you're like, I didn't expect to see this here.
Yeah, there was
And
a
really,
then
lot of
you're probably gonna have people
yeah.
like they're gonna like go as niche as possible just to see if anybody can guess who they are or
So
whatever,
there
right?
are some
Yeah.
people that do that, and it won't even be like a person. It'll be something really niche, like the ramen stand from Naruto or something, and they'll have like the actual stand. Like people do like really creative stuff, and
that
you're
guy from
like,
Majora's Mask. What the mask guy?
oh
He's
yeah,
got all the
yeah, yeah,
masks.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. They do. I mean, they do some deep cuts, man. But
yeah.
yeah, one year I love when Spy Family got big, and you had entire families. You
Hmm.
had so many family groups doing cosplay with like their little girls dressed as Anya. Man, that was
Anya.
cool, and a lot of like sexy yours. I'm like, whoa,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to find an Anya concert from Marley. I can't find one.
Oh,
I
really?
cannot find one because she's so small, man. Like,
Yeah.
she's so small, and so like I'm looking on like Amazon and everywhere, and I'm like,
Etsy, man. Etsy.
yeah, I might have to do Etsy, but I don't know if I got the money for Etsy.
That's true.
I,
100%.
bro, man, I'm like, I'm barely hanging on for this birthday.
Oh, I know.
so, so, I'm like trying to like balance that, and then like the convention. Like,
What are you gonna
thankfully,
do? Demon Slayer, where you carry her around in a box?
you know what? She does have her Nesco outfit. I just don't want to reuse
Yep.
it. I want to do something new. But if I have
Oh,
to go back to Nesco, I will go back
yep.
to having
So
her be Nesco.
so do you usually like do you cosplay at
No, absolutely not.
no? No.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
No, absolutely not. You
Yeah.
know what I
Why?
do? I no, I'm not. I've never been like a costume guy.
Mm,
And you know, even as a kid, I did not like face paint. I did not like it. So I don't
okay.
know. That's never been my thing. I will wear my anime shoes. I'll wear an anime shirt, and I'll maybe some Naruto socks. Like I'll be anime appropriate, but cosplay no.
This
That's
man
what
is a
Marley's.
conundrum. Tyler, I'm
That's
telling
what
you, this man
Marley's
is a
for.
conundrum because he loves to wear the stuff that's going to get him the attention, but then he doesn't like the attention.
No, see, here's
It's
the
like,
thing.
yeah.
That's not true. I like representing things that I like. And sometimes I find some bombastic things.
He
But
finds a lot of bombastic things.
but
Yeah.
but but it's not my fault if it attracts attention. It's just what I don't have any the thing I don't have any anime pants. So I had to settle for like cartoon pants. So
The
like but
pants,
yeah.
Tyler. When you see the pants, you're gonna be like, Jamal, what are you wearing, bro? Like, I will wear t-shirts, I will wear jackets, I will wear shoes, but usually it's a standard pair of jeans. But Jamal will walk in with pants like you're like, and then he gets compliments on them too. People will compliment him and they will ask him where he got them, and like I've stood there for those conversations, and I'm like, just shaking my head, just shaking my head. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Which remind
But that,
maybe I'll
you
find
know,
me
I
some
have
maybe I'll
never.
find me some anime pants before the
Yeah.
convention so I could be animated out.
I
We'll
was gonna
see.
say I
I,
need
I
I need
yeah.
a proper anime pants. I
I
need
need
to
some
see
anime
them.
pants. I need some
Yeah, I need
proper
to see
anime
them.
pants.
I need to see what Ed was talking about. So,
I need some
uh,
proper anime pants. Like
Yeah.
but
but
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
that's the thing.
I would like to do like a simple cosplay. Honestly, I'm not gonna do it this time, because like it's really close and
Yeah.
but maybe next time or whatever. I'd like to do something simple. Honestly, I feel like there's like a lot of simple like things that you could do like for low budgety, that people would still be able to
Oh
recognize
yeah.
and shit, especially from like popular stuff. You could
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
could do like, I've thought about like, like like Reagan, like One Piece people, like
Hmm.
Garp, like people is like recognizable or whatever. So it's very simple too. Like Reagan, like all you
Yeah.
need was a suit, and a wig or whatever, But I don't know.
And that's the thing, like you'll see like the different range of like how like you can see like, oh, this is somebody's like first cosplay where they're at the convention and they're just like having fun, and you'll see the range of people that's like very
Serious,
clearly put
yeah,
in
yeah.
tens of
Like your
thousands of
Marins,
dollars on this
your
costume,
your Marin and
and it's
Gojos,
amazing.
right?
Tyler, I was at a convention one year. You know Doctor Who, right?
Mhm.
So one of the old doctors, he has this scarf, right?
Yeah.
It's got a like a pattern on it, right? So I'm at a convention this year. Literally, all this girl was wearing was that scarf. Like she had it wrapped around herself strategically, but that was her cosplay. And let me tell you, she
Okay.
was getting a lot of attention. But it's like
I'm
it was really
sure.
creative. Yeah, obviously, for reasons. But it was creative too. It's just like one piece, like literally that's just the scarf, and she turned it into an entire cosplay. And I've seen that, and it's like with Jamal Kyle's friend, it's like his transformation happened by him just buying a couple pieces there at the convention, and it's and like Jamal said, people will like this. For some people, this is a very serious hobby that they
Hmm.
take very seriously. But I think at the same time, you got to remember that it's about the fun.
Yeah.
It's like go have fun. Buy yourself like a Luffy hat and then put it on, and then people are like party. And it's like it's literally that easy. Like I've
Hmm.
bought like I've got a few Captain America shields that are like I've got a really nice one, and I got like a jank one that's like cheapy plastic that I wore with like a helmet or something. And then like one of my cosplays was just a lab coat, and I was a Batman villain from like Arkham Asylum and stuff. And all I did was like press on the patches, and there you go. So it's like it doesn't cost a lot of money, and it doesn't you don't need a lot of time to prepare. Just go have fun with it. And I'm sure that at the convention at ASIN, you'll find plenty of stuff like props and stuff that you can buy and be like, boom, there you go. There, you're that character.
See, it's funny that you mentioned like the straw hat thing because I would actually like a straw hat, like for Luffy or whatever. And I would also
Hmm.
like a Naruto headband thing. It's one of the things that
They'll they're
I've,
definitely
you
gonna have
know,
those.
yeah, they should like that. That's pretty popular staple. Like you see that and you're like, oh shit, like that's Luffy. That's Naruto or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's easy.
Yeah.
It's staple pieces or whatever. It's stuff that I don't
Oh
have,
yeah.
and I'd like to have something like that. Just maybe wear on like on a podcast episode or something. Every once in a
Hmm.
while. Spice it up a little bit or whatever. But but yeah, like even I was just sitting there thinking, like you said, lab coat. You know what would be like a fun cosplay that would be like really simple. It would be like Steins Gate, Ocarine.
Hmm.
That'd be a
Hmm.
really fun one because but yeah,
Uh, one of my
or
favorite.
even what's his name uh the big dude uh, uh I forget his name. The big
Well,
dude with the hat, the baseball hat or whatever, right? The
okay.
technician or whatever. But
One of my favorites was that with a lab coat was he was Soul Eater, the Frankenstein teacher, the Frankenstein professor. Like this
I
guy
don't. I
literally
haven't
had.
watched Soul Eater, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the professors is like Frankenstein. He's got the big bolts on the side of his neck, and he's got like, and this dude had the lab coat with the bolts, and he always has an office chair because he's really lazy. He always wants to sit down and stuff in the anime, and that was this guy's cosplay. He had the lab coat. He had done the makeup and stuff, and it looked really cool. But it was just the lab coat with the makeup and this office chair, and he's just dragging that office chair across the street to the convention, and I'm just cracking up because I'm like, that's
There ain't no
perfect.
way. I
Yep,
can't
it's
imagine
perfect.
like having a prop like that just dragging along with you the whole day. You know what I mean? Like I could never. You know what I mean?
Man,
That's the
these
thing.
people will drag along. They will not drag. They will wear some really heavy stuff, and
Yeah.
you're
No
like,
thanks.
how are you doing this?
The
So like
office
every
chair,
once in a while,
yeah.
you'll run into like the cosplayer that's like that doesn't want the pictures, and in
Yeah.
the beginning, I'm like, come on now. But after a while, I'm like, I get it because you've invested a lot into this costume and you don't want to take any chances. Like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Though the office chair was a brilliant choice for a convention because let me tell you,
Mm,
sometimes you need that chair. You get tired and you want to. You're like, I need to sit down. You got a built-in chair.
Was yeah, that reminds me, like they make them little the little mini chairs, right? Like the stools or whatever. You can just like wear like a backpack. I feel like those would be
Hmm.
like
Mhm.
pretty cool at a place like that. So obviously I
Oh
don't have
yeah.
one, but like I'm just saying, that you know, if I was a smart man, I'd probably get one before I came, but I'm not going to, so I'm not smart.
No, because
So
that'll cut into your convention money.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then how am I gonna buy all the shit that I want to buy, bro?
Right.
I
uh,
literally there were moments where back in the day, back in the heyday, I thought, I should hire a convention assistant, someone who's not into someone who's not into this stuff, where it's like I'm gonna pay them for the weekend and they're just gonna carry all my stuff. Because yeah, I mean, we had I don't know if you remember this when they had the collapsible folding lawn chairs that you could put
Hmm.
into a bag. Like I had a Darth Vader one, and that's what I took with me because yeah, there were times where it's like you're in a line, you want to get an autograph, and you're in that line for like an hour and a half, and most of the time you're standing. Like eventually, like we would all sit on the floor and start talking to each other. But having that lawn chair like saved my butt so many times where I'm like, look, my feet are dead. I need to sit down. There's not a single chair in sight. Here comes the lawn chair, man. Yep.
yeah,
And
that's
for the most
perfect.
part,
Yeah.
they were okay with it. Yeah, they were okay with it as long as you didn't obstruct anything and you kept it moving. But like if you're sitting there and you're blocking the whole aisle reading comics, it's like they're like, no, buddy, you got to go. Yeah.
um. So with
Oh
this
man.
with Anime Central, I don't know if have y'all looked at the guest list or even like kept up with it at all roughly?
I've looked at the guest list. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
I'm all in.
plenty of times, plenty of times.
Is
Mostly
there any
because
other ones besides like obviously like Apothecary Diaries creator that you're looking forward to? Like I feel like probably maybe all of us. I'd like to say all of us are probably interested in like the Apothecary Diaries creator, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything
yeah.
else that y'all might be interested in? I'm just curious.
I don't really I kind of when it comes to conventions, I kind of am like I just go
Yeah.
and then just
See
because
what
I
happens.
used to do this. Oh yeah, because I used to plan it out to with an inch of my life, and it started to become stressful. So I kind of went in the other direction to now where I'm like it's so loosey goosey that it's kind of insane, and I miss out. But I'm like, you know what? It's okay because I've had my experiences. But like I will walk in there, like I depend on Jack and Jamal now to be my like like my program guides because
do
they'll
do
be
they
on it.
schedule hardcore?
No, not the way
No.
I used to. They're nowhere near as bad as I was because I'd be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, just so that I could get there in time to, be in line for, tickets to, like I said, Kevin Smith or the Star Wars presentations or whatever. Now it's like, now it's just parking. It's like, all right, I got to go early because there's not going to be any parking. And then I get there, and then Jack and Jamal already have like Jack knows all the VAs. Jack knows all the
Mhm.
VAs. Jamal knows all the panels, and I'm like, all right, guys, let's go. What do we got? What's the lineup for today? Yeah, yeah.
So see that I'm like a hybrid, that's kind of how
Hmm.
like I like to do like stuff like this is I just like to hang out with people and kind of go just go with the flow, kind of, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, there's like a
Yeah.
couple different, like, there's a couple of things that I want to go to, and like Apothecary Diaries, being one of them, and
Mhm.
probably like Emmy Lowe, like,
I knew that was going to be the next name
yeah,
that came out of his
Emmy
mouth.
Lowe, she's fun.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, like those two things, like there's obviously gonna be like a couple things that I really really want to go to. Like it doesn't matter if like nobody else wants to go to those. Like as long as I get to go to those, like my like convention is like I'm good now. Like I'm okay. I can do whatever I want now. And I feel like that's how I am, you know, like I got a couple things that like I got my mind set on. Like I hope I get to go to these things. I hope I get to you know, whatever, you know. And then the rest of the time it's like I'm just go with the flow. Cause like that's how I am anyways. Now like, you know, maybe like the second or third time, you know, after I get an idea of it, maybe I have more plans or whatever, you know, add in a little bit more plans and stuff. It's kind of like, it's kind of like I want to go to Japan, right? But like, I'm not the
Hmm.
type of person to like have a whole thing planned out if I go to Japan. So like I'd love to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
someone else to go with me that does have shit planned out. That way I can just like piggyback off of them and just go with the
Yeah.
flow, you know, and then just figure out like what's going on, you know, and then you know I feel like the second time I would go to Japan, that's when I would be like, okay, yeah, you know, this is what I want to do
Hmm.
this time because you know it's you know we didn't get to last time. It looked really fun or you know all that stuff. Like I'm that type of person where like I like to just chill, you know, the first time or a couple
Hmm.
times or whatever. And then like if there's something that I really missed out on or if I was just like, oh, you know, I really wanted to do that last time, but you know, I didn't have time or I didn't get to or I didn't know about it or something like that, you know, then I'll try to make room for that the next time or whatever. So it's interesting, but that's just the type of person I am. I just like to hang out, you know, like the, you know, that's why, you know, I'm bringing a, you know, a friend or whatever too, because, you know, more the merrier, you know, like
Hmm.
if y'all are all doing something or whatever, you know, and, you know, the, you know, my friend, he's not gonna go by himself anywhere, so you know what I mean. So, but
Whole new territory. Yeah.
yeah, he's from a you know a smaller city than I am, so he's gonna be lost and scared probably. He's a little bit on the shy side too, so I don't know if y'all
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have
That's all
listened
right.
to the episode with him, but it's Terry actually. So
Okay.
uh, we've had him
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
couple of times talking about like One
Yeah.
Piece and the year in review or whatever. So
Hmm.
he's been on a couple of times, but he likes anime. He's not as dedicated as us to anime, but he
But he
does watch
likes it.
anime so a lot, and he's looking forward to this a lot. He's really excited. I think he might be more excited than I am. He's just a little shyer, so he doesn't
Yeah.
have the you know the podcast experience like we have. You know to not be as shy now. So, but
But it's okay, and that's what and that's why like I like that story of Kyle so much because he was so nervous and he was like stuck to us like glue in the beginning. But like
Yeah.
the atmosphere just it lets you loosen, it lets your hair down. Like you realize, oh, this is, you know, somebody might accidentally bump into you because things going on. It's not like, it's like, oh, sorry, man. Hey, no problem. It's like everyone said, if you have a question, like even if the people don't, you can say, hey, look, where'd you get that from? Oh, I got it from over there. They'll
Yeah.
tell you. You know,
Yep.
yeah,
and then it
I'm
just brings everything down, and you're like, I don't need to be as guarded here. I could just be
Well,
which
the
me.
is
thing
Be
is
cool,
me.
like,
which is cool.
yeah, the thing is, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're at a convention, you are never alone. Like, it took me a while to like when I first went in and geeked out. Like, it was like, oh my god, you know, I'm geeking out, and I didn't notice it. But then it's like, oh, I'm walking through here alone. I don't know anybody. But then I started to realize, like, you're in a room with like 1,000 other people who enjoy the same thing that you do. Literally, all you have to do is like Jamal
Oh,
said, you're like, hey, you know that's a cool hat, or you know, like, oh, you like
Hmm.
this too, and literally, you made new friends for life. You know,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, it's great because it's like, and the cool thing is like most of them are shy too.
Yeah,
It's like
absolutely, absolutely.
sometimes and like the cosplayers, sometimes they do the cosplaying to push themselves out of the shell.
Yeah,
They like something and that's their way of like getting out of it. And so that's another one of the cool things about conventions. It's like you can talk to anybody. Like you can
yeah,
strike up a conversation one of the artists in Artist Alley, and it will be like the most fun you had all weekend.
mhm,
Because they'll start telling you stories about like the other conventions. They'll tell you cool stories, or like Kevin Smith is insane, man. I remember standing in his line, and I've been having a conversation with him, and I'm just the stuff that he's telling me. I'm like, oh my god, dude, are you sure? I'm like, are you sure you should be telling people this stuff? Because but it's like there I am, it's like like I'm not alone. Here I am. I'm like standing, me and Kevin Smith are having a conversation. It's that surreal, but it's
yeah,
like, it's like you're all there to enjoy the same thing. So it's like these are your people, have at it, have fun. It's like, that's one of the things where it's like, at first it's kind of hard because you have to get over that, you have to get over that initial shyness and stuff. But
yeah.
like once Terry does, it's like, man, you might have created a monster.
He might, and look, man, and I'm telling you, don't be surprised if he just runs off on his own,
Yep.
and you're like, where's he at?
Yeah.
Because it happens to us all the time. Like Edwin and I, we usually stick together pretty good.
Yeah.
Or and it'll be like, oh, where you going? Are you going over here? All right, I'll go over there. I'll go over there.
Yeah.
But like, Jack,
Martin and Jack and Coffee,
Martin,
forget about
Jack,
it.
and Godfrey, they're like, oh,
Gone.
like Martin sees somebody cosplaying, he's over there. And then Jack, he'll see somebody cosplaying, or he'll see this artist that he like, or he'll see and he's gone. And you're just like, and
Yep.
Edwin and I are like, where did they go? And we'll just be walking around, and we'll say, you know what? Like Edwin taught me, Martin, he'll find you. Don't even bother trying to text him. He'll find you later. And then we'll like after an hour or so go by, we'll be like, hey Jack, where are you? And he'll be like, okay, I'm over here. And then half the time, by the time we get over there, he's gone somewhere else.
Yeah.
but but
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
catch
Here's
him.
another thing. Sometimes cell reception in these places sucks
Yeah,
There's
really
just so many
bad.
people, you know?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I remember one year we did walkie talkies because it was like we were that year I went like I had at least three of my cousins, and I'm like, how am I going to keep track of all these people? I bought walkie talkies. We had walkie talkies, and so we were using those to talk to each other. It worked out. It worked out really good. I mean, it was like that was the year that I think I had the most people with me, so that
Mm-hmm,
worked out to like like. But then you come up with a system. You're like, I'm going to be here at this time, so let's all. You start to
mm-hmm,
get into this pattern of like, all right, we want to go do what we want to go do. We'll meet up in an hour, or we'll meet up after this panel. We'll meet up here. And
mm-hmm.
then that's where everybody meets up. And then you kind of start planning it out that way because, yeah, sometimes the cell reception, you have to do that. Logistics becomes an odd part of the thing because it's like, otherwise, it's like you could go the whole day without finding somebody. You're like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay. You're like, where were you guys? It's like, I couldn't get a hold of you. Yeah, like, yeah.
Or you
And
send
it
the
saves your
message and
PC.
they get it 45 minutes later,
Yeah.
and you're like, and then it's like, oh my bad, dude. It just sent.
But
Well,
that's the
one
thing
time it
too,
was
is like
so
I have no idea,
yeah,
what cell reception is gonna look like up there for me. So I got Verizon, I
yeah,
think it is. So I have no idea. But
Verizon's usually pretty decent around here.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
we got
pretty
we
good.
got
They started
yeah,
even in the train tunnels now they work pretty well.
Okay.
yeah.
Um,
That's good to
Verizon's
know.
yeah, I
pretty good.
remember. Yeah, I remember one time it was so bad that Toffrey didn't get my text messages or until we were driving back to his place after the convention,
You're just like,
and
why you
then
texting me, bro?
all 15 text messages came in at the same time, and he's like, "Whoa, you're blowing up my phone." I'm like, "Dude, those are the text messages I've been sending you all day." It was pretty. Yeah. That was
I
pretty
guess it's
funny.
just because
That was
there's so many so much people packed
Oh
in
yeah,
this
there's a lot
area.
of
All
action. Yeah.
the interference, the cell phone interference, the signal and shit. Probably can't do as well or whatever. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Oh yeah. I
definitely
think it's
Hmm.
the
understandable.
construction. Yeah, it's the construction of the buildings because those buildings are old. Those buildings predate, like cellular towers. And then,
Hmm.
like you said, it's like you said. So many people put it's a lot. Like you have like a couple thousand people trying to get text messages
Suggestion,
through. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
um,
and that becomes a thing too. Sometimes some artists they'll just want cash, right? Because it's like the cell reception in there sometimes just so difficult, where it's like you're trying to
yeah.
send a Zelle or you're trying to do the Square and the reception just sucks. And they're like, you know what, I'll give you $5 off. Just give me cash.
Yeah, people got, yeah,
No, like
so it's
no,
probably a good
they
idea to
will
have
give you
some
discounts.
cash,
They'll give you
maybe.
discounts for cash, so they don't
Yeah,
have to deal with that.
yeah.
So
yeah,
that's so always have some cash on you.
Do they have
yeah.
ATMs there or nah?
They do have
They
ATMs.
usually
Yeah,
do, but they're usually going to kill you on the rate.
Probably
it's
like
usually a little
okay.
bit. It's like $3 or $4, I think, and then
That's
there's usually a
killing you.
line.
Mm,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
usually
Yeah.
there's usually like people like I remember there was a couple times where I just gave up at Fan Expo where I was like, you know what, I can't. I'm like I'm done for the day. I'm not gonna spend anymore because it's like I saw something I liked. I'm like, I'll try to get it tomorrow because I'm not waiting in this line for half an hour for the ATM. But it's not as bad as it used to be. I don't think I've never seen it. I haven't seen it that bad again.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe
Yeah,
it
I've
maybe
been
seems
stop at an
pretty
ATM
good.
at a gas station or some shit. I don't know
there's
beforehand.
banks
Yeah, usually,
around.
yeah,
There's banks around and everything.
yeah.
You'll be able to get some cash for sure.
Yeah, because being
Yeah,
out of
there are
town,
ATMs.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that I'm gonna get charged a fee anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
well,
Well,
any
yeah,
other people y'all want to talk about real quick before we you know uh
yeah.
wrap it
I'm
up?
getting ready to head out. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so
No, I'm
Um,
interesting.
good. Jamal,
No, I'm
anybody
good,
else
man. I'm
want
just
excited to see or anything?
you know what, man? I'm just excited to, it's like you said that when the joy after going to so many conventions, the joy becomes like bringing
bring
somebody to
somebody
their
else in,
first.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
honestly what I'm looking, most forward to is, honestly, it's you, man. Like we done talked and collaborated so much. It's going to be really cool to just be able to hang out and
Mhm.
geek out with you and provide this experience for you. I wish they would
Yeah.
have given us a panel.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
would have been awesome.
you know,
Yeah.
I wish they would have given us a panel, but I don't know. I don't know how to crack that code. Fan Expo, I got it. I could get like a 15 panels for us during Fan Expo. Anime Central, I can.
well,
That's what threw me. You know what? That is one thing I have. Like, what is a panel suggestion? Like a suggestion for a panel that you guys had? Because I got to put something in for Fan Expo. I don't have any ideas right now.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good question.
that's something I
Oh,
would
you
have
can
to think
do.
about. But
Well, you could do. One of the things we could do is because by
And make
that
sure you
time,
say we,
we.
because I do this and you know what, I'll say this, that's one of my favorite convention memories too. It was like the first time we got a panel
Yeah, that was
because
really cool.
it it was just like I just did it on a day I just had nothing to do at work, and I was just like, I don't know. Let me throw this out there. We've been talking about doing this episode, this Full Metal Alchemist episode, and I was just like, let me just put that out there. And when they emailed, like, hey, yeah, you guys got it, and I'm like, what?
what did you say?
I didn't know it was that easy where you could just submit it and they'll say, yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
And so it was. a joy for me because for a convention lifer like Edwin has been, it was a real joy to provide him with an experience that he's never had before. Like he's
Yeah,
had the
I've
experience
never.
of
Yeah, I've never been on
sitting
that
in
side of the
panels.
table. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So it was that was really cool, and now it's like a yearly thing. And that was something that just started off as us. It was just me, Edwin, and Jack. And then the next year, it expanded out to six. It was me, Edwin,
yeah.
Jack, Alberto, Jesse, like,
Alberto.
and it just,
Yeah,
and Jesse
yeah,
got in the isekai fight with that dude, and
yeah, yeah.
dude, Tyler, Tyler, I kid you not, we had the panel was 45 minutes. At least 20 minutes of this was Jesse and this dude in the crowd going back and forth arguing over what is isekai and what is not. Because Jesse has a very hard line stance on like isekai and anime, and like if it's not Japanese, it's not anime to Jesse. He's not hearing it. He doesn't want to hear it. I think
Uh,
he's softened his stance a little bit to where he's willing to make it if it's not Asian. I think he softened his stance a little bit. But if it's not Asian, it's not anime. I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to
yeah,
me about it.
he's
So he
really,
had
yeah.
that they had that argument, and then they had the isekai argument, and he loves his isekais just as much as Edwin. And so these two are going back and forth. Well, is Oshinoku in it? Is this is this an isekai? Is this isekai? No, he didn't reincarnate. He did not reincarnate. That's not an isekai. It doesn't count. He didn't die.
Yeah.
And they're going back and forth, and it was like we only had 45 minutes, and like I could tell Jack was getting a little frustrated with it, but it was so engaging. It
Oh,
was so engaging.
Jack
Yeah.
threw up his hands and gave up. At
Yeah.
a certain point, Jack was like, "I'm just,
he,
it's, uh,
he just gave up because I think we
Jack
were
was
talking
like,
about like because this was like because Fan Expo was in the summer, so I think it was like the mid-year awards of like some of our favorite
yeah,
stuff from mid-year, and it just
yeah,
went off on that tangent, and it was great. But it was cool because like that was one of our bigger turnouts, and everybody
yeah.
was engaged, and we had people coming up and asking questions and everything, and it was really cool.
That was
So
fun. Yeah,
that was fun. So it's just like that experience of like being able to now it's like you said, being on the other side of the table. Now you're hosting. Now people are coming to see you,
yeah,
and like you don't. When we were walking into them convention rooms, we didn't think those people were lining up to see us. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if I said this the last time I talked about it, but like Edwin did an original print when we did our Full Metal Alchemist episode. Like he
yeah.
drew something originally, and I got like I don't know, maybe like 40 copies printed, and gave it to we just gave it out, and people are going up there asking for his autograph for it and everything, and he's just like having a
Like
surreal
what?
moment because
Yeah,
he's
Like
like
who? Me?
yeah. Like what?
me, and they're
Like
like,
you
no,
want
this is
my
good, and they're like
autograph?
getting his signature, and it's like,
Yeah,
how to what better what like as a friend to be able to provide that opportunity to him. It's like
yeah. That was
it
awesome.
was such a fulfilling thing, man, because it's like that dude
Yeah,
he was pounding out the cover art for every episode they came out with, he was coming out with something original.
yeah.
So for
Jack
him to
was
do
relentless.
that.
And Jack was like, Jack was like, Jack turned into you for a second because man, he wanted that artwork, and he was like, "So, what are you gonna do for this episode?" I'm like, "Jack, I don't know, I don't know." And he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do for this episode?" I'm like, "Jack, I haven't even thought about it." And I produced about 35. I counted them because I've been
Mhm.
doing some stuff recently, and I went back and I counted it, and I produced 35 individual covers for our
Mhm.
podcast. I'm like, that is insane. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It
that's
So,
is.
insane. Yeah,
it-
but that was all. That was
mhm.
all Jack. And I'm still like, some of his favorites are some of my favorites. Some of the ones that I did for him specifically for like stuff that he likes. are still some of my favorites, like the Tomo-chan one,
Hmm. Yeah,
the Remy from Black Lagoon, and the Raftalia
yeah,
from
yeah. I
Rising
stole
of
that
Zero.
one. I stole
You
that
did,
one and put it on a T-shirt. And you know what
yeah.
the funny thing is? I wore that T-shirt to work one day, and this guy, like one of my coworkers, he was like, because I had like the Gurren Lagann on the front, and then I think I had your Cowboy Bebop on the back or something.
Oh, cool. That was a cool one too.
And
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, is that Cowboy Bebop?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, that was a good show." And I was like, "Yeah, you know, my." He was like, "Where'd you get this shirt?" And I was like, you know, this is I made it. You know, it's a custom thing, but you know, my friend, he drew this. He was like, he drew that. That's good. You know, and it's just it was a conversation. I just used it as like a small marketing ploy when we was at the convention, but like it, you know, drums up attention, and it's like, look, man, his just to see his art out there because like, you know, Edwin, he can draw, but sometimes he has his like, you know, creative funks. So I was glad
Yeah.
that like the podcast like challenged him in that way for a while, and
Jack, Jack
it,
wouldn't
it
let it
was a
go,
challenge.
man.
It
Jack
was
wouldn't
a
let it go.
challenge,
It
but
was. Yeah,
you
Jack would
know,
not let
I
that
think,
go.
yeah, but that fulfilling
Yeah,
endpoint of him signing off on his artwork at the
that was
convention, I
really
think
cool.
was a good stamp on things. So you know, it's
Yeah.
so yeah. Think of convention topics that I could submit
Well,
because
I got one
if
for you right now.
okay,
oh,
what you got?
Yeah, I mean, we could call it Return of the Legends,
Hmm.
and talk about Mao and the Shadow
Shadows
Demons
of the
one.
Demon.
It's like,
Okay, that's a
yeah,
good idea.
we got two legendary creators coming back with new shows. Like compare and contrast. How do they stack up against like Inuyasha and Full Metal Alchemist?
That's a great idea.
I mean, you could
Hmm.
even like spread that out too, like away from those two shows or whatever too, and add more to it. Probably, I'm sure there's more. You know what I mean? That
Oh
um,
wait,
you know.
look. I just found one of my badges from I think this was last year's Fan Expo's badge.
Nice.
Okay.
But
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the
if
great,
you
yeah,
I'm not 100% sure, but if y'all if y'all was to get a panel or whatever, there might be a world where I might be able to come up there again this year. I don't know. It just depends on
Yeah.
Tyler,
uh
I'm
situations and
telling you
stuff.
now,
So
I'm telling you now. We did Fan Expo for the first time in what's this? This is
2026.
26.
2026. So I think it was 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the first year we did was 23. Was it 20? I think it was 23. We submitted the Full Metal Alchemist panel. We got accepted. They ended up needing I guess somebody dropped out or something. They was like, "Can you guys please do another panel?" And so
Sure,
we
let
did
me
it.
cook
So we
something up
did
real
another
quick.
one. We cooked up like
Yep.
we did like our state of streaming thing.
Yeah.
And so we did that. And that's when Alberto joined us. That one's on our YouTube. They let us record that. And so that was the first year. And then the next year was when we did yeah, so 24 was when we did the mid-season awards when Jesse got in a fight with that guy. And then last year, like I submitted 3 panels because I figured, all right, maybe they'll give us one, and they gave us all 3. So I ended up having to be there all 3 days.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like I've had like really good success with Fan Expo. So if you say that, I can definitely there's a good chance that we'll get it. And the
Yeah.
great thing about Fan Expo is if you get a panel, you get a free weekend pass for the entire weekend.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so you could get a max of 6 badges per panel. But if you get 3 panels, I could put down 18 different names. I get 18 people in there. That's how I got so many people in there last year. So, oh, he, I had about 10 badges.
Oh my
And
god.
then, like, certain people couldn't go. Like, I know Edwin, you couldn't make it. And
Yeah.
Jesse, he couldn't make it because I think something happened and he dropped out. So, like, Alberto was able to bring his wife, and Christina and Marley went, and I gave a badge to somebody else. Who else I give a badge to? Somebody else got a badge. Like, I'm just like, I got badges to just throw away. Please come get one of these badges. So if you say that, I'm fairly confident that I can get you a badge because I've had really good success with them. So you know what? If you got a panel idea, I'll submit it, and then that means you'll have to come because it's your idea.
That's right. Yeah.
You see,
Or you
the
know,
thing is I'm horrible at thinking of ideals, especially on the spot. You know,
it's
it's so
Fan
hard, man,
Expo
for
is in
me.
August.
So
Fan Expo's in August. You got time.
yeah.
You
Yep.
But I
got
mean,
time.
there, like I said, there's a chance, there's a chance that I might be able to come to that too. It just depends on how things play out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I would love to, I would love to come up to like a not just like an anime focused,
Mhm.
convention. It's like a well-rounded convention or whatever. That'd be
Yeah,
fun to
yeah.
go to as well. So
So yeah,
but I don't
they're
know.
just starting. They're just starting to roll out their uh, their guests.
Oh, this
Yeah.
early, really?
Yeah. They
Oh,
don't
they
listen.
started. Yeah.
Edwin, who was Fan Expo before they became Fan Expo? Was that
Wizard
Wizard
World.
World?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
Wizard
yeah,
World.
there was
Fan
Wizard
Expo
World.
Okay.
bought it from them.
Yeah.
Fan Expo bought
So
all their conventions.
yeah. So they've already announced that the cast of Lord of the Rings and Smallville is going to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, and those are pretty big hits. Yeah.
Oh wait, and the cast and the Goonies.
Yeah. Oh wow, really? The Goonies too?
Um,
Wow.
the Goonies.
So, I
There's
mean,
going to be a Halloween reunion. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, like the old school ones. There's going to be people from there. Mr. T.
okay.
So the and that's Mel Gibson.
Really?
Mel Gibson's going to be there. Jared Padalecki,
Okay.
Okay.
Who are
Supernatural.
they?
You
Supernatural.
got it.
I know you're a
Yeah, who are they
Supernatural fan.
saving? Who are they saving? Because
Uh,
usually, Tyler, the way it
No
works is
idea.
usually they'll drop a few names here and
Right.
there, but they'll save their big gets until like a month or two, like a month before, to really ramp up the ticket purchasing. But like that sounds like already like man, dude,
That's
you're gonna
a
have a crowd
Look,
already.
you
really
know how to
strong
get me
cast
up there.
already.
If you say the magic word Jensen Ackles, I'll probably be there.
So there you go.
We'll see. We'll see if Jensen Ackles gets up there. We
Hey
got
man,
Jared
you never
Padalecki.
know.
We
Yeah,
got
I
Jared
mean
Padalecki.
he's almost
So
enough, but if Jensen
you,
Ackles, was mentioned, then there's like there's a
let's see.
less than a 1% chance that I would not go. So that was just because I would I couldn't go for for whatever reason, physical reason or like
Mm,
whatever. I would try my best to get up there if Jensen Ackles is gonna be there. It's kind of
yeah,
like with Mount Apothecary Diaries creator coming,
mhm,
it's kind of the same level, like y'all don't understand how much I loved Supernatural growing up. It's like one of my favorite TV shows
mhm.
ever. So I
I don't know
idolize that
if
man.
if Jensen Ackles is there, my wife will be standing right in line with me. She'll be right there. Daphne Keene. I like Daphne Keene. She's cool. Yeah, like John Carpenter.
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
man. I mean,
Yeah, they got a yeah,
like I
it's
said,
like Edwin
there's a
said, they've
chance. So
announced a lot of names. And this is just like the celebrity. That's not even like they have their anime voice actors and stuff too. Um, did they announce any of them yet?
I don't know. I don't know.
Meet the cast of Death Note. So
Okay.
I guess they're gonna have the English VAs for that.
Okay, that's cool.
So I mean, it
They've
should be a
announced a
pretty fun
couple
time.
VAs.
So we'll have to keep our
Yeah,
eyes on
yeah.
that. So
August
and see what's
16th
going
through
on.
August 14th through 16th. It's going to be at the same convention center. So,
As Acen, yeah.
you'll have a lay of the land. So yeah, well,
Okay.
if Jensen the second they announced Jensen Ackles.
You could have texted me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Edwin, they're going to have the cast of the Maul show, the
The
Darth
mall
Maul
show.
show, the Darth
Oh,
Maul show,
cool.
the Star Wars.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's something you
yeah.
guys should be watching. I mean, like seriously, yeah. You guys should take some time out of your anime watching and watch the mall show. I mean, it's only like 6 episodes, but
You're
man,
asking a lot of
that's
me, Edwin.
That's
I know, I know,
you know what
I know.
you know Edwin. You know what that you know who's going to be. You know who's going to get we can get with that Alberto.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Alberto, man. It's like I'm
Yeah.
sure he's watched it like I'm sure he's watched every episode twice already.
Yeah. he's,
Yeah.
he's
Oh yeah.
he, that's his Jensen Ackles.
Oh yeah. That good. The voice actor for yeah. Oh god,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I know
What
who
Sam
was she in
Witwer?
it?
Is it Sam
Yeah,
Witwer?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
He's gonna
so.
be there. He's gonna be there.
Yeah.
So who else? So I don't. I know like who else is? Yeah, that would be his Jensen Ackles. I don't know who
Mhm.
my Jensen Ackles would be. I gotta think of who that would be. I know my Christina's Jensen Ackles last year was Matthew Lillard, and
Oh, okay.
she was too nervous to go get the picture in it the picture.
Yeah.
She gets nervous about that sort of thing, but then she saw that
Well, everybody has their person. Everybody has that
everybody
one
has their
person where it's
person.
like, yeah.
So
Like I'm really good. Like who was it? Oh man, I can't. I'm blanking on her name. I think Amy Acker
mhm,
from like Angel and Person of Interest,
uh-huh.
and I was doing okay. Like I'm usually okay with the actors. Like I can field like a lot of questions. Like I'm a little
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
television reporter with them. But when she smiled, fuck, it was over. It was done. I couldn't say nothing, man. Martin, my friend Martin, he stopped and then he turned his head and he looked at me. He's like, because he had never seen me speechless before with an actor. Like usually I was the one like prodding him, like coming up with
Mhm.
questions and then letting him setting it up, warming the crowd for him. And this time he had to do it because after she smiled, I'm like, I'm done. I'm dead. I'm dead. I can't do it. Yeah. But I understand too. You always get those people where it's like once they start talking, once you see them, it's like everything shuts down and you can't function as a normal human being
Mm.
anymore. Yep.
I don't know
Yep.
who my Jensen Ackles would be. I gotta think of who my Jensen Ackles would be. It'll probably be
Oh, like
somebody from The Wire. It'll probably be somebody
yeah.
from The Wire.
No, no, no,
Probably
no.
be somebody.
I think it'd be more the female persuasion, like that Gabriel Union. You'd be like, oh no, I
No,
can't.
no, that they don't move me. They don't move. I've been in the airport for too long. I've seen too many people.
That
So
is
like
true.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it that sort of doesn't move me. I was, and I could say The Wire because I forgot where we were. I think I was going to a comedy show. We were going to a comedy show or something, and we stopped off at like a corner store, and
Hmm.
Kima from The Wire was in there, and I was
Oh
just like la
shit.
la 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 la, and like because she was shooting, oh my goodness, what's that show that I liked in it? The Shy. She was shooting The Shy at the time,
Okay.
but I didn't know that was a show. I wasn't paying attention to that, and so I'm sitting there. We're standing in line. I'm getting my juice or whatever, and I'm like, was that Kima? Like I'm like, but then I like because I'm like, there's no way like it's normal. This person's going to be like out here with normal society. Nobody from the wire should be. And so like I didn't really think about it until like somebody else said, "Oh, it's that old girl," and they was like, "Yeah, that's a girl from the." I said, "That was I knew it, I knew it, and I missed my opportunity." So like I
Yeah,
think that might be the only like somebody from the wire might be the only time that like I might get a little starstruck. Outside of like I did see Idris Elba one time in the bathroom, but like you can't like
That's
I'm
weird.
not
You know what I
I'm
mean?
not talking to a man.
yeah,
But the
Yeah.
crazy thing was somebody else, like I wasn't the only one, somebody else was there and trying to talk to him and he was like, I'm using the loo mates or whatever they say. And I'm like, yeah, that's weird, dog. Like, at least wait
yeah.
till the man walks out. But like,
Let
you
him
know,
zip up at least, you know?
yeah, do
Shit.
something. Hey, look, man, I'm not gonna make a joke, but I'm just saying, like
Well, that's
that might have been like but that was
the
like before
basic
he
guy energy. You
blew
don't
up.
talk to people
You
while they're
know,
busy, man.
you don't approach a dude in the bathroom. That's crazy.
No, yeah.
That's crazy.
No, you
So it's
gotta you
like
gotta
Yeah.
like they're normal people too, even though we don't
right,
see them as
right,
one. So like you gotta respect their boundary, privacy. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely,
would you want someone walking up
absolutely.
to you and be like trying to carry on a full conversation while you're using a urinal? Probably
No,
not. You're
No,
gonna be like, "What are you
absolutely not.
doing? Why are you talking to me, bro? Let me,
Dog, you're not
you
even
know."
supposed to be at the urinal next to me.
right?
Urinal law
Yeah.
says you skip a urinal, you skip a urinal. You skip at least one. You
I
had
hate
to skip
when
at least one.
I hate when people do that. If like there's like 5 urinals and I'm at the last one, why are you standing anywhere near me? It's like go to
You're
the other
supposed
end.
to be at the polar opposite end.
Yeah,
And then the next person
I don't
gets the
want any guy
middle.
I don't want any guy seeing my junk, and I don't want to see their junk either. It's like, come on,
No. No.
come on, respect the bro code,
You
respect it,
respect the
please.
code. You respect the code. That's why I'll just go into the stall anyway. But that's another reason why I hate Wrigley Field because they had the stupid horse troughs, and you just gotta lay it out in front of everybody
Yeah, it's
like an animal. Like dog, not even y'all can't update the facility to at least get us a urinal with a partition. You gotta have us doing the horse trough.
What the hell?
I hate that.
yeah.
I hate Wrigley.
It was. I was like, what? What? Like I
It's
remember the first time I went in a long time, and I told my friend because she loves baseball, and I walk out, and I'm like, why didn't you warn me? She's like, warn me about what? And I told her, I'm like, she's like, how would I know? And I'm like, you
yeah.
must have been like you. I know you've been here with like family and stuff. They must have warned you. I'm like, this is not cool, man. I'm like, this is weird.
No,
But yeah,
I need.
it takes some getting used to like just have like a just a trough in the floor, and you're just
Yeah.
peeing in that, and it's like it's like
On a
where
corner, I
am
guess.
I?
I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
horrible.
it's like I might as well just
It's
like whip
horrible.
it out in the stands, start peeing over the deck. Oh man, that was
And
funny.
you're in a stadium full of drunk Cubs fans, so there's all sorts of stuff in there.
It's
It's
not as
it's
bad.
horrible.
It's not as bad as it used to be. It's not. It's not.
Yeah,
It's really not as bad as it used to be.
yeah,
No,
okay.
I mean, well, if you walk in there looking for it, you can find it. But let me tell you, man, I after like I had family where Wrigley was like their hangout, and I would go spend time with them, and I'm like, these people were drinking from like 9 o'clock in the morning until like 5 o'clock in the afternoon after the game was over, and then they'd go back to the bars. But there's not as many bars or things as they used to. But yeah, but at least thankfully the cops block off the streets now, so when these drunk people do come out, there's no accidents or anything.
Mhm.
So that's
That's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Supposedly. That was a conversation for Nam.
yeah.
He'll appreciate that.
Yeah. All right,
Well,
guys. Well, I'm gonna jump off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I was
think
gonna
we all
say it's
are.
about that time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to let y'all know, you may be wondering, why we've been talking about conventions for the past, hour or so, however long we've been yapping about it. We are going to be at Anime Central, May 15th
May
through
15th through
17th.
17th.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you're in the area, if you're in the area, don't be shy. Yeah, y'all can come up. We're not famous or anything. Come up, talk to us, find us, whatever. You know what our faces look like, all that good stuff. So come see us. We'll be there. All that good stuff. Um, you know, we might, I'm sure that we'll talk about our experience and stuff,
Mhm.
the next time we get together on the 950 Club. So, be sure to, tune into that as well. Um, you know, it's gonna be a fun time. So make sure you're on the lookout for that. Make sure you come see us. If you don't get to see us now, maybe you can get to see us in Fan Expo or maybe next year. Whatever. But uh, just like always, links will be in the description. 950 Club Podcast. Follow all of them. Follow, like the video, all that good stuff. Um, and we will see you
Oh, wait,
whenever
I
we
got
see
one thing
you.
to say. I got one thing to say before
Okay.
you close out. I
Okay.
just want to send a special shout out to former guest and friend of the show, Jim Ferranda. Like
Yeah.
we all saw his post, man. He's going into surgery, so I just want to
Yeah.
say, man, blessings to you. You're in our prayers. We're rooting for you, and when you're back, you're ready. We're here to talk toys and cartoons with you, man. So we
Yeah.
wish you a we wish you a successful surgery, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side, brother.
Yeah. God bless them. Yep.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was a really fun episode. I can't wait to hear y'all talk for a second round. See what all kind y'all
Mhm,
what all topics y'all get into. So that'll be a fun time. But I hope
mhm.
everything goes well with him as well. So, but with that being said, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.